that a couple of duchesses decided to call me the Technomancer, which is okay, I guess. I went with it. Um, if you've seen Between Two Peers, I was half of the tech team behind that, or well, I'm more likely the obnoxious gremlins that were behind the scene making snide comments. That was my best contribution to that show, I believe. I by trade I am a cloud engineer, but several people in the past have asked me, "Can you help me set up streaming, or can you stream for me?" Um, and I just had to learn this stuff as I went, which was successful. So conceptually, all we're doing when we're broadcasting across the web is taking a capture device. In this sense, it's a camera. I'm using a Logitech Brio that is mounted to the back of my monitor. And then you have that capture device get converted into a stream. And a stream is just simply a lot of single pictures stitched together and compressed. Um, there's lots of wizardry behind it that you could do to it, but in its most basic sense, it's just compressing your camera stream and sending it to a remote server. In this case, we're broadcasting over Zoom, but in the past, we broadcast over Facebook, who have their own specific uh, server and settings, as well as Twitch, which is most popular. And I feel that it's the most popular streaming platform. And then there is Streamlabs. There is YouTube, where we used to broadcast for Between Two Peers was straightly to YouTube, and they have a very robust system for streaming. So the software is where I guess where it gets very technical and weedy, where you have to go in and kind of learn how each service has their capture stream or their stream server set up. So we did not host a stream server, although we could have. We decided that we wanted to catch the most common denominator. Most everybody has a YouTube account, and if they don't, they can still watch it without logging in. Great. Uh, so with we can bring up YouTube really quick because I'm going to share the screen. Share that one. Then we bring up browser. All right. And I do not know my login was still set. So you don't have to have special software to broadcast to YouTube. Switch counts. I do not think I am signed in on that for the all channels. No, just Ursus. Okay. This would be where your uh, YouTube Studio, where you would go in and get your settings and add them to your software. So, one of the problems with YouTube, unlike Facebook, you can't just stream directly from your device. You may be able to, but we've never tried that approach. We used a piece of software called Open Broadcasting System. You can see it here. You notice it's got lots of little dials and controls and wheels and buttons and things that will confuse you. That's fine. But what Open Broadcasting System is, or OBS as most people call it, is a software that coagulates all of the pieces. So we have audio. You can do custom audio effects. We have an overlay. You can overlay an image on top. You have text. You can have text scroll across the screen or at the top. It brings in all of these different features that are already in your computer and uses your regular webcam. As you can see, it says video capture device. Nothing really mystical about that. There's just it's just capturing the frames and sending them over to OBS. OBS will then take all of the pieces and parts that you want to integrate into that and put them into the stream. So the way we would connect to YouTube would be to go into the settings, stream, YouTube. It doesn't have my settings from when we were. Now it's wanting me to open the account. Let's bring it over here so you can see what I'm doing. And we'll do that one. Simple. Now I'm authorized OBS to connect and use my streaming to the ingest server at YouTube. That looks simple, but there's a whole lot of pieces and parts that went on there, and we'll go ahead and dive into them. When you see service, this is the drop down where you can pick services, and then server. Most of those, and when you pick your service, this will auto-populate and work for you. You have to have an account in any streaming service, of course, and ignore streaming service setting recommendation. Well, if I had the bandwidth, I'd broadcast in 4K, but nobody's got the bandwidth to receive it. Anyway, that did look pretty simple, and it didn't take long to do. But beware that each service requires something different. I do not have Twitch set up and installed right now, but that's okay. We'll bring this back over here. Channel dashboard. I'm not going to go live on YouTube because then that would confuse people. So with this software and camera system, it operates pretty fairly stable. You don't have to have big fancy equipment. Now I have I don't even know if you can see me. I have a Pro mic here that picks up everything, and then I have settings that eliminate background noise and hisses and pops. That is all done through the audio mixer. There's an audio mixer in each scene. So you don't have to have that really expensive stuff. You just need a microphone on your webcam or a microphone on your desk to get started. You don't have to have streaming accounts. Like I said, you can go directly to Facebook, or you can be on Instagram and use your phone device. But if you wanted to get fancy and you wanted to add more to it and have a better level of production value, then using something like OBS would be the route to go. So let's tinker a bit with filters. I'll drag this back over here to where you can see the shared screen. No,
you might have already said it, but can you state it again on how we obtain OBS?
How what?
How do we get OBS?
Oh, that's pretty simple. Hit a browser, Google for OBS. Now there are two things that will come up. Probably, no, I don't see SL OBS, so it knew it's pretty smart. OBS is open source software, so when it says open broadcasting system, it's open source. It is well maintained. It is contributed to often. It has the latest codecs, and the codec is a piece of software that transforms analog sound and imagery to digital sound and imagery. So it has the latest compression codecs, and it interoperates with several of the streaming services. Downloading is pretty simple. You just pick your operating system here, and then bring it down and install it. Now, I'm on a Mac. Most people are typically on a PC, so the installation would be a bit different, but it's no different than installing any other program on your Microsoft Windows PC. Similarly with Mac, it has its own standard installer, and like I said, it's free. It's open source software. There is an option that is commercial, and it's the same company that works on OBS. It's called Streamlabs or Streamlabs, live streaming and recording software. Um, it is a product that can give you, if you wanted to get up and going fast, you could pay I think it's $4.99 a month, and use some of the stock themes and overlays that people use. Because if you watch somebody stream, you'll see that over here in one corner is their face, then they're streaming, whatever they're doing in the middle, and then they'll have scrolling chat around the bottom. That's all done through something like Streamlabs. It can be done through OBS, but it's a bit more of a learning curve to get that set up. Whereas with Streamlabs, if you pay the $4.99 a month, they'll give you a pretty much generic template that's already set up that lets you do that stuff. I feel that too much of it, if you go back and look at Between Two Peers, it started with just two ladies on Zoom talking. And when Baby Ninja and I came on board, we brought in Streamlabs with custom overlays and custom functionality that we put it in there because we threw time at it. But if you're, again, you don't have to do all of that. You can stream just as easily with OBS, or just go by going directly to Facebook or Instagram. It's when you want to elevate it, when you're doing it regularly, you want to add that production value by using the software and applications that are out there. I did not, for the longest time, have a pro mic, and I have kids in the house, so it's noisy. My keyboard is mechanical, so it's noisy. So I got a bit twitchy and went and learned a lot about audio applications, to where I could eliminate those hisses, pops, and the background noise, compress the sound to where my voice sounded more clear, and that the space in between the tones was more crisp. I know that sounds weird, but talk to an audio engineer, they're just as weird as we are. So, right, you wanted to know where to find it, so we covered that, and I was covering BS. Now, streaming, Facebook, not really difficult. Let me get back to it. I have this Zoom bar that I hate that's in my way. Are there any questions so far? Do I need to go deeper on a subject? Nothing. It used to be pretty easy to get streaming here and video. No, we don't want to watch video, but you can see what I like to watch. People making stuff live. Okay, they've changed this all around. It used to be pretty easy to just simply go live. That, again, you'll see that everybody struggles with the software because it gets changed often.
If you want to ask a question and don't want to be recorded, you can pop it into chat and I'll read it for you.
Yeah, I got an assistant here. She's doing production. In the back of my head, she's implanted something so she can quickly say something when I say something stupid. I'm kidding. She's not doing that. But it's fun to imagine. All right, so
I'm not that technical. You're that technical.
I lied. You can't stream on Facebook anymore because they've hidden all the buttons. It's probably something seriously easy to set up, and I'm just looking for more difficult things. Personal save. Is it that easy as going here? And no. Live video. There we go. Yep. See how simple that was. Good golly. I often do Instagram or Facebook live while I'm doing some sort of repoussé or leatherworking or something. Um, I did have a cadre of people that like to watch me work. I don't understand it, but I don't judge. And if they want to sit there and watch me work and keep my hits going, that's fine with me. But I have broadcasted my daily work. Um, so here they've gotten a little bit more fancy since I've been here last. They've got streaming software, webcam, and this is important. You'll need this in order to stream, and you don't want to share that with anybody. It will change once I change the screen, so I'm not worried about people seeing it. But connect streaming software to go live. Now let's do my webcam. Brio. Unable to find.
Hey, Karen.
Yeah.
And this may be part of the advanced class, but can you cover a little bit some of the best practices for doing detail work, either in this class or in the advanced class, for like showing off your repoussé and stuff like that, where people are looking at what your hands are doing as opposed to looking at your face?
Okay. Yeah, I do not have the camera set up to do that, but I can go over it. Right. You know what? In between this class and that next one, I'll run upstairs and get the overhead camera. Good point. Look, that's why we have Elsie around. That's why we have her around. So that brings us to another kind of realm of this. You'll see often on either Instagram or Facebook or TikTok people that are making or doing things. Quite often it's recorded and then put into a video that's saved on a channel like in YouTube or on a reel like in Instagram. So adding another camera to the mix and adding other audio to the mix or eliminating audio altogether is another level of complexity. So we'll go over that in the more advanced part of this. The not the stuff for the newbies. I just want the people that are new to it to understand that it's not scary. It's not the wizardry has all been done for you. Again, it's as simple as going in. I don't want to close this, but let's bring up SLOBS. That's the more advanced software. It may launch, it may not. There we go. Like to begin with, you want to get your software installed, OBS, this application. And then you want to have your webcam set up. Let's make a new scene. Scenes are collections of inputs and outputs. So now it's just black. And hopefully you can hear my voice. I think you can because I have it routed straight through Zoom and not going through OBS.
Yes, we can still hear you.
Okay. So I want to add a source. Well, the first thing I want to do is make people see me. So video capture device. Now this can be several different things. It can be just a regular video camera, or it could be a capture card, or it can be a remote camera. For now, I'm just going to do generic video capture. Okay, and it says, well, what device do I use? So like I said, I've got the Logitech Brio. I'm going to use that. Okay. Yes, closed captioning is fine. Go away from that. Now, it looks like I just did the same thing that I did earlier, but this is something that you can do as well. Add a scene. Let's rename it. Scene for how to. And keeping these in organized is and naming them semantically relevant to what they're doing is a good idea. As you can see, I've got one that's just called C. Well, I was in a hurry that day, but I have one that's waiting to start, which I had a nice image up there. I had one that was dedicated to recording a specific screen. I had just one for work. And now we're doing scene for how to. As you notice, as I went through all four of those, the camera was still sharing among them. Well, I'm using what's called virtual camera. And that turns your camera into a virtual camera device that can then be used by, let's see, will it show zoom? Let's show, come on, show me the embiggened version. Zoom is so helpful with hindering. There we go. Probably not going to show everything. I am not in the right view. That is okay. Oh, that bar's at the top. So you can't see my control bar at the top. But you can use Zoom with a virtual video camera. You're not seeing that, are you, on my shared screen? No,
Nope.
I'm not seeing it in Zoom. Am I still sharing? Yeah. It says I am. So it will not share Zoom. It will not share the Zoom interface, which is unfortunate. So I could show you how to add a virtual camera.
It's possible we have that disabled on the Kingdom account.
That's okay. It's a minor point, but it might be a sticking point for some other people. So I could very well record a clip of me setting it up and then sending it, because I should be able to virtually capture the entire thing. In fact, I could do that right here. So let's make this zoom a bit smaller. And then we're going to capture. I'm going to, as I do it, you're going to be able to see me do it. I'm going to capture that zoom window. I'm going to add another video capture device. Oh, Mac OS screen capture. Look at that. That's great. They've added that recently. I think it does what I want it to do. Oh, yeah, look. So now, if I drag and do it's a display capture, I want to go over to the other monitor. No, not that one. Nope, not that one. There we go. So now we can see the zoom. Bring the bar out here. And there we go. Can you see this interface? Yes, yes. Oh, you can see it. So on this little drop down chevron here, you see that it has several cameras and some effects to add or to use. You see I'm using OBS virtual camera. And I could very well switch to Logitech Brio and it takes over and broadcasts it, but it's not as clear. And it's not, I'm recording something, but it is not as clear. It is not as easy to manipulate. So I want all of my video, all of my overlays to be done, go into Zoom via that virtual camera. So that's a big piece to adding more to your streaming, is using OBS and then adding a virtual camera. And then if you're broadcasting through Zoom or Meet, Google Meet or Microsoft Teams, you have the ability to go in here and add things. Add text. You could just say, hey, I'm sick today, my voice is gone, you know, or you could add that. Be a little snarky to your project manager. I got it too big. But again, this isn't possible in just Zoom. This is Zoom using the virtual camera from OBS. These are really easy to add and they're really easy to hide. We haven't even started to cover scene transitions. but we'll get into that. Go back to our scene for how to. Now we're broadcasting Zoom again. Going to plop that back in that bar over there. There's our settings bar. I'm working with 3 different monitors, so it's a bit weird, I know, to see all these things just moving around. And if you're bored, you can do the infinity thing. So let's kill that capture. And just simply turn it off. And this is a little intuitive. It should be easy for people. Click it on, click on the eye, it's gone. Click on the eye, it's back. So it shouldn't be too much to manipulate that. What have I done here with my face? There's always the ability to reset what you did. So go to transform, reset transform. Oh no. I said it was easy. So now I want generic video, reset transform. It is not obeying, but that's okay. Now we have my face again. Are there questions to this point? Did I go too fast, or because it's quite likely I will.
I think we're good so far.
Okay. Well, we will jump into scene transitions. This is a little bit advanced, but it's not really that advanced. So here, every one of them's got me in it, because it's all about me. See, every one of the scenes has a me. Let's create a new scene. And we're gonna call it image. Okay. Nothing in that scene just yet. So we'll add something. Image. We're gonna call it how to. So it does not have an image. So we would browse and look for them. Here's a drawing I did of Indiana Jones. So now I've got an image that's up there. If I were wanting to explain something about value and hue and how to accomplish texture, I could use this in as the overlay in there and then transition back. Come on, transition. Oh, no, that's just changing. Nope, I don't have those controls set up, obviously. What a transition is you've seen a screen wipe or a cut or a fade. There we went. Now you can see them transition. I just wasn't using my buttons correctly. So back to the image, it fades in. Back to me, fades out. You can increase or decrease how long those take. Back to the regular scene, back to the image. See how those took longer to fade in and fade out. The human eye perceives instant changes as jarring. So with most video production, you will have either cuts or fades, wipes, keys. These are all terms for moving from one image to another in a more gentler way so that the viewer isn't jarred. So I don't have my go to cut. I don't have all those loaded right now. I could have prepared like a smart person, but so see how the cut more jarring. We don't like that. Fade is better. Now you can add swipes. Swipe's good. Save. Okay, direction left. Oh, now you can. Let's go up. So if I picked swipe, duration's that. I want to cut over to the image. Now I've done that scene transition. You can get as fancy as you want to, but just a gentle fade like we've been using is used most often, and seems to work for the most part. So again, we're going back to our scene for how to. We did a transition. We put an image up there. So I didn't. Let me add a different one because I had something specifically for that. Sort desktops. Now you can see me fumble with the interface. Sort. And then we had whatnot promos, 102. No. Graphics. Overlay. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted, but it is a good illustration. So if I wanted to frame myself inside of this yellow, I could go in, keep it as an overlay. Let's lock it because now it can't be moved. So me tinkering around with anything else, it's going to not move it out of place. Let's add a video capture. Let's add existing me because it's all about me. And then we're going to resize me. And now I'm framed in that horrid Whatnot yellow. The last time I was streaming, I was doing shows on Whatnot to sell collectibles. So that's why I have this already loaded easily. And then add another image. Image 2 is fine because we already got one image in the scene. It's a good idea to keep these things. Are you seeing my screen? You're not seeing my screen as I show you this. I am adding images and stuff here. It's a good idea to keep these semantically correct also. So how to image was something I was demonstrating how to do. And come on a little bit over here. I was using my overlays. Oh, it's not downloaded yet. That's fine. Go back to sort. And SVGs. No. That's the SCA font I made. There's so much stuff in here. Here's a logo. I want to reposition and size that logo. I'm going to go to transform and then edit transform. So you can see this in the share, right? It is sharing, your screen sharing, yes. So let's give it a resize of about 600. And then make that 480. And then 0. 0 is dead center of the screen. There's no -0. That would make things weird. That's not doing what I wanted it to. Go back to the properties of it. Properties. No, I want to transform. Transform, edit, transform. So the image is at a specific resolution and size to begin with. Either it's way too big or in some cases it's too small. So you want to alter that image size and that image position. You can tell it to center it, and it should have centered it, but it didn't. Oddly enough. Go back to it. I don't think it's a good size format for this stuff, but that's okay. Transform. edit transform. So you can see that it can tend to be a little fiddly with some of it. Center. Positional alignment, center right, center left. Preview scaling, scale to window. Try that. It is scaled to window. All right. So logo here, my face there. That's not big enough. My face must take up more space. As you can see, you can adjust and modify all of these things in OBS. And that lets you, yeah, like I said earlier, that lets you add production value. Again, you don't have to have this. You could just have a camera and your phone and Facebook. But when you want to add more to it and give more to the viewer, you want to use these kinds of things. Are there any questions so far? I know that was a little disjointed, a little off in the weeds. And this isn't even the really complicated parts that comes when you're trying to bring in multiple streams. Questions? No, I don't see any questions. So let's go back and do some reviewing. Facebook. Create a live video. We're using OBS to feed that. YouTube. Come on. Where did my YouTube go? Which account? Kingdom account. Over here. Create. Go live. I'm on my backup internet too because the Xfinity decided today was the day that they wanted to do the upgrade. Don't think it's actually picking something up. It might well be picking something up, which is weird. Okay. Again, this is all looks pretty complicated until you've gone in and done it. But for the most basic part, you need your stream URL and you need your stream key. When you're in OBS, this last time OBS picked it up automatically for us. Got lucky. In your settings, I'm hoping this is still broadcasting. Screen sharing.
Yes, we see what you're doing.
Okay, yeah. So let's go back to that and actually use a stream key. Use stream key advanced. Primary ingest server. That's fine. Let's grab a stream key from YouTube. No, that's not what I wanted. That is what I wanted. Copy the stream key. Fortunately, OBS is already populated with the ingest server URL and the backup. Paste the key in there. Use stream key. Tell it okay. So now I should be able to start streaming. Come back over to YouTube. Is it working? It is. It's gone live. What am I streaming? I'm streaming nothing. Just fantastic. So I want to stream me. That should show up in YouTube. There we go. So now I'm streaming in 2 different places. My text faded. That's awesome. So let's do a transition. Let's move from there to there and then move over to the image. Move over to that scene. No, that's not where I wanted to be. Image 2, work. Generic video. And then we have a delay, so it should appear over here in YouTube, that stuff enters and leaves the screen. So you saw that was pretty quick. All I did was grab the stream key, click go live. Oh, it's probably still picking up. So let's end that stream. So they built it to where you can be outside of the YouTube interface in the browser and go on and do other things and it not close down, which is pretty cool. That didn't used to be the way. We always had a 30-second, I think it was 45-second delay for between two peers because, well, they're sassy. There's a lot of stuff going on in YouTube these days that wasn't there before. They've added lots of nice things. So again, to get started, get a YouTube account. If you want a Google account and you don't want to use your mundane everyday name, you can have a West Kingdom Google account. Send an email to communications@westkingdom.org to find out how to do it. Grab a YouTube account, grab a regular web camera, and then download OBS. It will come with a scene already created. Remember to go in and add video capture device. Several existing there. It will automatically use the largest size possible, so you won't have to do any tinkering around with that. But then once you get used to it, go ahead and add a new scene and practice, play around with adding different, media source. So, I used to play movies for people in another frame on between two peers. Maybe it was a different remove. Yes. There's so much that this software can do. Yeah, it was media source. Anyway, there's toys that you could play around with, but start with this single scene with the regular webcam, and then add, have the virtual camera going, and then you can go into Zoom, or you can go into the Facebook person to person. I don't remember what they call it. Everybody's got a different name. Or you can go into Instagram and create a reel. All of that is possible with OBS. In the follow-up thing, we're going to get a little bit deeper into broadcasting more than with one camera, as Els mentioned, and adding Streamlabs to where you can have sectioned off pieces of the screen doing specific things, with the main thing that you're viewing not being me. I mean, but me is the most important thing right now, of course. So let's go ahead and end it there. That's pretty much all I can cover in an intro in the beginning without getting too much into the weeds.